5 meters out. Here it comes. Ball comes down. The catcher becomes the tank commander, and now they're crabbing. The backs arrive. Everyone's in. They're going to push it over. Sometimes the backs can get in the way. Joel Kutsi says, get out of my way. He's on the run ball. He's over the line. He gets it down.
Great work by Dallas. Great try.
Yeah, you see the backs coming add a bit of weight. They don't add as much weight as the forwards, but they did a really good job. And you said it before, sometimes they can get in the road, but that was the backs driving through and allowing the young hooker to get over the line and score a great try.
Good work from Dallas. This is the closest they've been for some time to the try line. They're just 2 or 3 meters out now. Pick and go. Going over the top, spinning around, can't get it down, but retains possession. Still pounding away. Jackals looking to retake the lead with a try. They get low. They're driving the legs. Quick pick. They finally get there. I think it's big Sam Gola. Well, a few of them had a look. Big hit up there, but great body awareness to not get held up over the line, to stop short. And that gave Gola that opportunity. And Atlanta just ran out of defenders.
Yeah, Atlanta's playing like they're a team that's, really got a lot of pressure on them. They've got to loosen up a little bit.
Atlanta right now are about to fall away in the Eastern Conference unless they can find something in the next 13 minutes to change the scoreline. This time it's the Dallas backs that arrive, driving right through the middle. Atlanta can't tackle this. Looks like they're going over the line. Referee's got to get sight of it, and he does.
You got Imloff, the 9, even pushing from the front there, and just great work by Dallas. There's twice they've gone over on a ball today.
Running time, of course, in rugby when the ball's out of play. Wow, beautifully executed set piece. Well, they're off and running again. This is how they got their last try.
Advantage number 6, side entry.
Advantage, you heard that, side entry from Atlanta. Now they can try their hands, take a risky maneuver. Late drop pass into the 13, hard running. Wow, what a great set piece. Thomas Malanos.
You see here, he's got been outstanding, great late cut, and this guy is big and fast, and he just wrong foot under the post.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Jakl Den podcast. I am your host and president, Daryl Keith Hendon, a.k.a. the Fairweather Rugby fan, recording for one last time from the apartment here. Do move, as I've mentioned multiple times, on Tuesday, so had to come in here. Everything's already packed up, so I've got this still set up here, ready to go. And obviously excited after another victory this weekend. We are on the bye week this week. No games this coming weekend. We will not be in action again until Sunday, June the 4th. It'll be a 2 o'clock start time so far, unless they adjust it, at Rugby New York, who was idle this weekend, so nothing really to say about them. That would be the only announcement. We'll be doing a meet and greet for that, probably at the Londoner. Don't quote me on it. Rick Collins will get that kind of squared away and set up. And then we come back home the weekend after that, thankfully. A handful of us were able to get out to DFW Airport Terminal A last night to greet the boys as they came back to town. It was really, really good experience. They were not expecting it. Even the management, the coaching staff, the general manager, everything, they were just like completely, in shock that we were there, hence them taking the photo with us there in the terminal. It was a really, really good experience to kind of to see the boys as they were coming back. It was been a long day. They flew back in the evening, got back here about 9:45, 9:50 Central Standard Time. And just looked happy. Everyone was going into a bye. Sam Gola decided to stay as they're on the bye week. He posted on social media. He was at the pool. He was at a cookout. He is enjoying his bye week off, and what an well-earned break he has earned for himself. So, yes, final score 27-19 from Atlanta Silverback Stadium. We'll kind of go through some of the news and notes of the game and kind of bring up a few things, and then maybe talk about the look forward and, of course, the stars of the game. kind of start off, not a whole lot of action for the first 30 minutes of this game. Tincho Elias likes to kick at the 7th minute from about 40 meters out. I just wrote WTF with a question mark and exclamation points. He wasn't even close. It was it's one thing to shank it. He completely kicked in the opposite direction, and it didn't even have even close. Maybe he just kind of missed a little bit there, but it was, nothing on that one. 30th minute, Watakia, the Modi winger there for Atlanta, he just finds a wide open space on the right hand side there, and Coleman does convert. He is 1 of 1 on the day. It was 7-0 30 minutes into this. A couple of minutes later, we get in. We decide to kick to touch. We go for the line out, and starting hooker Dewey Kutsia, the Edmonton, Alberta product from South Africa, drives it in, man. If any of you guys are not familiar with Springbok rugby, South African rugby, we have a gentleman by the name of Malcolm Marks. This is his bread and butter. And I think maybe Dewey's been watching Malcolm Marks videos for all I know, because that was his first of 2 on the day for Dewey. Absolutely great game on his part. Elias does miss the conversion. It was from pretty wide out, so it was kind of understandable. It is 7-5, 34 minutes into it. We try to get a couple of phases going, man. 7-5, it's almost halftime, 40 minutes into this game. Nothing's really happening, and we're not really getting any real deep. So Tincho Elias calls for a drop goal and kicks it. It goes through, and we go into halftime 8-7. A lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball. The one thing I do have to bring up with Atlanta, other than their fly half Coleman, was Sidney Tobias, their starting hooker. It was his first game in Major League Rugby. His father actually played for the Springboks back in the 80s. He was the first player of color to play for South Africa back in the 80s. And this man was a proper unit. I mean, a big wrecking ball of a man, 34 years old, from the Western Cape, but a product of Stellenbosch. He's from Pretoria. He's lived in Pretoria, played for the Bulls and Super Rugby URC, and just a mountain of a man. Every time he got the ball, it was just he was busting through with it. And you just see everybody just falling out of the back of rocks. Really bright point for them. Obviously not enough. The 44th minute, we come back from halftime. 44th minute, Watakia goes in for his second of the day, and I even write on here, where was our defense? He just walked through, basically. Coleman does miss the conversion. It goes to 12-8 at that point in favor of Rugby ATL. 61st minute, the future USA Eagle. We've been calling it since the beginning of the season. Sam Gola, after multiple phases, busts through, and we get to hear James Brown's Living in America, or at least that's what plays in my mind every time that guy scores, is Living in America by James Brown. Elias does convert this time. He's 1 of 3 so far on kicking of the day, and we take the lead again at 15-12. And we never look back after that. Dewey Kutsia scores his second of the day at the 67th minute. Once again off the line out. He gets to the back of the pack. He does his line up, throws it in. He gets to the back of the pack, and we just drive it in. He gets his second of the day, earning him the man of the match, at least according to the broadcaster there. Dewey, I've been talking to Dewey for a really long time. We were talking the beginning of season last year when he got announced, but he couldn't come down here because he couldn't get a visa. The COVID thing, it kind of created a backlog in visas. He was playing a bit of rugby and Pacific Rugby there in Vancouver, BC, and it was just kind of one of those things. Like, if you guys know me and you know Dewey, we have a lot of things in the South African, the Canadian stuff, that kind of thing. We have a lot of that stuff in background in common. And he's just a really good kid. He moved to Canada at age 14, lived in Edmonton, Alberta, which is it's about as cold as you can get with civilization as far as Canada goes. And, it's good just to see that guy having a good career. Obviously with Ledesma coming in, there was an article from Major League Rugby that got posted talking about mental health. And Dewey's just since I met Dewey online and then we've been like friends ever since. Like, Dewey is just a good dude who has these big dreams. He has been invited once again to the wider training squad training squad for Canada, hoping that they see how he's been doing down here in Dallas, and hopefully he finally gets a Canadian cap. Be very, very proud for that young man if it happens. He will join the likes of his teammates and Liam Murray and Logan, aka Kyle Steves. It's the facial hair, man. And he's like built like a Wolverine. And so obviously Dewey goes across into 67th minute. That's not it for the day. Thomas Milanos adds insult to injury later on in the game. They do end up getting another one, closes out 27-19 as the final score. And what a great game. I knew going into half, we are a second half team. If you've been following this team anytime this year, we are much better in the second half. And I knew going in it with a lead at halftime, our chances of winning were going to be substantial. I knew we were going to have a pretty good chance and opportunity to come away with a win this game. And we did. It was our second win ever, our first road win ever. And to talk to some of these guys as they came back last night at the airport, everybody's spirits are good. I mean, we had really good spirits, obviously, at the Toronto game. I think this game meant a little bit more because this was not a team that was below us. This was a team that was, they're a competitive team. They're fighting for a playoff spot. And we went out, we played our game, and, I tip my hat. Rugby ATL, they have really good players. It just wasn't their day. It was our day, and we came away with the W. And just really good time. Like I said, the boys are on a bye week. Who knows where everyone's going to go? Like I said, Gola is in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Argentinian boys are going to stay local because flying back home would just be insanely expensive at this point. But I'm pretty sure everybody's going to get out and enjoy the week off. A little bit of a down note, we do see it did look like Nicholas Revel-Pitt, our starting prop. He came back with crutches and his leg wrapped. We saw a knee injury with him in the second half. Liam Murray had to come back in. You could tell Liam was spent. Cramps. Everyone was cramping up. Dewey was cramping up. JP Agede, a little bit of arm action, but he seemed fine at the end of the night. But that's going to be a real big one is Revel-Pitt. But not to say that we don't have capable guys who could definitely take a step up, and we do. We have Alex Tucci from the Boogie Down Bronx, and we still have the Professor Herman Achenbach himself, who we haven't seen a whole lot of either of those guys this year, and I'm sure this is an opportunity, if it is something that's long-term for Revel-Pitt to kind of step up. We have gotten to see, obviously, a lot more of Dewey Kutsia and Connor Robinson, the kid from Boston. Because of the injury to Thomas Barafale, he did break his wrist. I don't know if he's going to come back for this season. It would be cool if he did. If not, I think we're more than capable at the hooker position. We've got two young guys that are very, very good. Obviously, Dewey having a really good season and really putting his hand up as, hey, you've got the veteran. If he's available, yes, give him the bounty of the minutes. But if he's not, let me step in. And he has stepped in and played absolutely fine, in my opinion. Some issues we saw last year, the issues of the line out, he's corrected a lot of it. And our scrum this year has just become our bread and butter. We've gotten so good at it. We've gotten so dominant at it. And another note I wanted to bring up was at halftime, the penalty count was, I believe, 6-1. Atlanta was just committing penalties pretty excessively. We had our own little issues too with knock-ons, but no real big penalty issues. And it kind of continued into the second half. You did see attitudes get a little chippy there, as it does. We've got a pretty young core of guys. But with Geronimo Gomez-Mora being our captain, I think he kind of, settles the boys down occasionally. You get El Bigote. He gets a little emotional. He gets into the moment. And he had I don't want to take away from, the game that Conrad Aurora put in. He had a proper shift. Sam Gola, Lucas Burr, everybody had a great, great game. So we will get to my 3 stars of the game. And we will start at 3 and go down to 1. Now, number 3 is probably going to be one you guys are going to be like, what? And after the game, I had a moment to talk to him at the airport. And I found out this was a really big question mark going into the pregame for me was fullback. Nutsa Valentini. I mean, we'd seen him in the preseason. He wasn't really the best tackler. He's probably been our least used scrum half this year with, obviously Pedro Imhoff getting the majority of the minutes. And I wondered. I knew he'd played fly half a bit. I'd seen him kick. His kicking wasn't the best, and it was just kind of like a really big question mark going back. But I have to take my hat. I give him my third star of the game. Nuzza Valentini, second time ever playing fullback. He told me this at the end of the game. I thought he did an amazing job. He was really good under the ball. He made some really good kicking decisions, deciding when to kick and when not. And I know that's probably been a problem that a lot of us, we felt we kicked the ball away too much, and I still feel like we do at times, but he really made some really good decisions, and I felt it was good. When Pedro decided to be a little bit more aggressive with the ball, you saw Natsa come in and move right into that scrum half position, getting into the back of the rucks and pulling the ball out when Pedro would run the ball forward, because we got a little bit more aggressive as we got farther into the game. Being able, instead of just offloading or kicking it up, he would take the ball. Pedro would just take the go, and Natsa would run right into the back of the pack, pull the ball out of the ruck. And this was this way until we got Danny Christensen, Hot Wheels himself, into the game. Everybody got to come into the game. Louis Satama, we got to see Cam Nelson. We saw Tidwell. Didn't get to see enough of Tidwell, in my opinion. But everybody got to get into the game yesterday, and it was good to see everybody get some good time in, especially with us getting the victory and securing it there at the end. I do have to mention, Alex Tucci, a big part of that first victory as well. But I will give the third star of the game to Nuzza Valentini, just because he really, really did well playing at fullback. And I felt like with him and Elias in the back, it was a really good, young, fast kind of core of guys in the back there. So that would be my third star. My second star of the game going to Mr. USA himself, Sam Gola, trying the game. Obvious workhorse. He's one of those guys, you'll see guys cramping up, but you never really see Sam Gola cramping up. You do see him getting upset at times because he's a young man. He's very big. But no, Sam is Rookie of the Year material. If he's not in that conversation, you don't even need to be having that conversation. Samuel Gola has been absolutely spellbinding. Like, he's just mesmerizing, and it does not matter who he lines up against. He does not care. He is going. It's almost as if, like, when we lined up in the preseason game, he's lining up against Cam Dolan, a veteran USA Eagle, and it was like, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna try and blow through you just like everyone else. So Sam Gola gets my second star, obviously getting the try as well. And I think the number one star, no question. Everybody's been kind of the universal saying, and even on our poll on the Jakl Den Facebook group, I mean, he's running away with it. Dewey Kutsia, DeWald, Dewey Kutsia. I mean, 2 tries, man of the match in my opinion, and a lot of other people's as well. What a proper shift he put in. When he came off and Connor Robinson came in, it was just kind of like, yeah, you definitely earned your stripes today. This would be, I believe, his second and third try, maybe third or fourth try this year. Dewey has just been doing it and doing it well in the absence of the veteran Thomas Barafale, and it's like you almost don't even notice he's not there, but you do. When you see Thomas and he's at full 100% strength, he's an absolute beast in unit at hooker there. But Dewey has really, really been showing his grit, as they would say. He's been putting in work big time. So with that, like I said, 3 stars, Nuzza Valentini, Sam Gola, and Dewey Kutsia, the big number 1 star man of the match for me. But man, we got a week off, guys. I hope everybody has some plans. Maybe you want to watch some other games going on. Obviously, Houston is in a skid. They lost again. And it was kind of like, whoa. And did anybody get the number of that truck that ran over the NOLA Gold? 50-3. I say that because we've been there before. We've been beaten that bad before, but man, they got completely run over. Not even close. 50-3. What a blowout. If you get on social media, the NOLA Gold fans are none too pleased with that one. So like I said, we have a week off, guys. The next time I'll be making one of these, I will be in a completely different environment as we'll have moved, and hopefully better acoustics, better audio, better background, better everything. But once again, this is the Jakl Den podcast made by me, a huge fan, for you guys, huge fan. Cheers, guys.